Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Crickellectuals. This is Rufan alongside with my co-host Jay. Jay, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Things are good. We're finally getting rid of all the snow that we had. The past couple of weeks, there was so much snow here. I'm tired of shoveling and getting rid of the snow, but finally things are starting to melt away because it's been pretty cold, so the snow didn't go away very easily either. But now, things are better. Roads are a lot more clear, and we can safely walk around and stuff. So very, very, very grateful to be able to now get out and not freeze to death.
That's great, man. And thanks for jinxing it for us. I think we're getting snow on Thursday.
Hey, it's your turn, man.
I mean, our snowstorms are not as insane as what you guys see, but it is as bad as far as the how people react since we're not ready for it and infrastructure is not prepared for any snowstorms. So we'll make it, man. Well, hopefully everything works out, and glad that you guys are okay, safe, and walking around and seeing some sun.
Yeah, it's nice. We had 2 feet of snow, man. A lot of snow. We
Wow.
haven't gotten snow like this in a long, long time, and kids were kind of happy, but at the same time, it's a lot of work. So glad it's behind us. Hopefully, it doesn't snow again for a while for us, and would like to see it go away very soon.
And let's begin. Today is it's a single topic. It's about PSL, about
Yeah,
and around. So let's talk about it from the beginning.
I don't really want to talk about it because none of my teams are doing good.
Well, half of my teams are not doing good either. So we both picked Karachi Kings as our backup team.
Yep.
Let's begin from the beginning of the tournament. Shall we talk about the opening ceremony or forget that memory?
I mean, forget that memory. I don't know. You like the song, you're into it. I don't know what else to say about it.
I mean, it's not for me. I guess it's not for you either. I know a lot of
No,
fans are liking it. I think our bar is set so high with Just Bajanoon song,
that's right,
and it
man.
never gets old, man. It's evergreen, and it brings passion in you. You become patriotic listening to it. You feel like you're tough, and I'm not getting the same reaction with these new
I
songs.
agree. Yeah, well, you know what? It's a lot of it is about the optics. Also, they obviously want to advertise and publicize the event, how it started, and all of that. So they have to make a big statement,
Yeah.
regardless. So I understand that they have to do certain things that other leagues also do to kind of show themselves as, on equal footing as them. And so I appreciate it from that angle. And if COVID wasn't around, the stadium would be full. The event would be pretty great. So it's also the times that kind of affected the, I guess, attendance and how big the event would have been otherwise.
Let's begin with the kits. I want to say none of them are not pleasing to look at or unpleasant to look at. They're all
For sure.
nice and they've made great improvements from the first PSL. But which one is your favorite so far?
That's a really tough question. I did like the lahoreqalandars red and black combo. I really did like that. I would say Gladiators is my number 1 probably. I like the purple and gold combo very much, and I also like just their logo in general, so it kind of all adds up for me. And I like the gold pads that they put on and stuff, and the helmets. I think it looks very regal and very cool to me. So I like that. And my number 2, I didn't expect to like it at the beginning. I didn't like this jersey, the kit at all, but after seeing Islamabadunited play, I kind of like their jersey. The whole art paint splash thing I didn't at all like in the beginning, but seeing the players in it and the actual color of the jersey, because it looked different when they first announced it, but now it looks a different shade. I guess it's like a more of a pink. But with all of the colors, it looks pretty cool on TV. So I like that one too.
Yeah, I agree, man. The Islamabad United, I think they had a red or orangey, lighter shade of red previously, which was not very pleasing
Yeah.
to look at. I mean, it was nice. It wasn't too bad. But this pink definitely looks good in the stadium. You're right. I wouldn't want to wear that to a wedding, but
Would you wear any of these to a wedding?
I can pull off some of these to a wedding. But or maybe it is Islamabad that you want to wear to the wedding. It's pink.
Right.
So
That's true.
I know what you're saying. It kind of grew on me too. The first I saw it, I didn't think much of it, but after watching it a couple of times, it really stands out. The players stand out, and it's different. We see combinations of blue, red, green often, but this is totally different, and it definitely looked pleasing to me at least.
Yeah.
And I want to say black. and gold combination does have something about it. It stands for toughness, strength, or dominance or something. It's you just look like a badass wearing that. It looks like a serious team.
Uh-huh.
So that is definitely my first one as well. Calendars, they've messed around with many colors and they had some nice ones. This one is too generic for me. The red and black combo.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything special.
Nothing special, and same thing with Karachi. Karachi shade of blue that they had picked previously did not look good. It looked cheaply made and off color to me. But the newer selection of colors, the darker blue, the design on the shirt, it looks much better. Number two would be multansultans, and I think we talked about this. It takes me back to that Pepsi three-quarter of a sleeve jersey that Pakistan had when Waqar, Wasim, and Shoaib Akhtar were at their prime. It's very generic and something we're used to, but it does look good. I do like it, so I'm going to go with Quetta, number one, best jersey, and then Multan Sultan second.
While we're on this topic, I like Multan. I just don't like Multan's combo of having a green logo. Their logo is primarily green, and then on this blue that they picked, you could hardly see the logo on there. And I just don't think green and blue, or at least these shades of green and blue, go very well together. I like to see a logo pop, and to me, they have to change something. Either the logo color has to change, or the jersey color has to kind of accommodate the logo a little bit better. The other thing I wanted to bring up while we're talking about this is the names of our franchises. First of all, I know I've heard some rumors about them adding two more teams at some point, depending on how many investors or potential buyers they find. It could be difficult, but there's been some talk about having two more teams, so I'm wondering what cities they would represent. But how they come up with these names, or have come up with these names, is weird to me, because Multan Sultans is a beautiful name for a Pakistani league, right? Lahoreqalandars is a wonderful name for a Pakistani league. Quettagladiators, though, why
Yeah.
why are we taking Greek, Roman type of a ancient history thing from their culture and plugging it into ours and calling it a gladiator? I think it should be something. That's the one thing I don't like about the Quetta Gladiators. I don't dislike it, but they're the only team, in addition to Islamabad, that have a weird name attached to them. And then Karachi Kings too. Their name is the Kings, but their symbol is the lion. I guess that happens sometimes, royalty and the lion, they usually go together a lot. But it's just weird. Those three
King of the jungle, man.
Yeah, sure. So they're the kings of the jungle, which I understand.
I agree. I think I remember when PSL started, I thought they were just copying each other's name from other leagues.
Yeah.
But Quetta Gladiators makes no damn sense. You're absolutely right. It's like saying Quetta Vikings or something.
Right.
It doesn't add up. And they're wearing a Spartan helmet there too in their logo
Right.
or something.
They are.
And
At least peshawarzalmi had the courage to have their own pugadi as part of the icon or the symbol. But these guys just totally taking appropriation, right? Culture appropriation. They're totally taking it from.
I think Islamabad
from the
United, you
Greeks.
can still say it's a city of all cultures. So it sort of
Sure.
makes sense. But Kings and Gladiators is something that's not organic to Pakistan itself. So all the
No.
other names do look pretty cool. The logos are good. lahoreqalandars, man. It's a great name again. Multan Sultans. It rhymes too. So
They could have gone to the NFL to steal some ideas, because even the Saints would even go for Multan, for example. But Multan already has a good one. Sultan's definitely a very local cultural thing, right? But we could have had Saints, we could have had Sufis,
right.
There's a lot of ideas. But I guess no one really sat down to think this through.
Yeah. I think that was probably step number one when they started creating. They're like, oh, we don't want to worry about that. Let's pick the players and a logo.
Yeah, let's pick the names that are popular in a lot of the other leagues. Because I think in the West Indies also, their league also has these kinds of names. And so do the Bangla leagues. They also have these kinds
They
of
all
names.
copy each other somehow.
Anglicized, not really local, but anglicized and European.
Yeah, and that another thing I noticed about Quetta Gladiators, I know you like the uniform, it's also very similar to Kolkata Knight Riders, who's had the
Yeah, I used
same
to love
exact,
that.
yeah, and they've had the same uniform since first season. And I think that's first thing I noticed. I'm like, why go with the same exact theme? Even though I loved it, the gold and black combo, like you said, and I still like it.
Yeah, well, the gladiator jersey is dark, but it's more a purple. So
Right,
I think KKR was a more of a
black.
darker color, but
You're right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's still nice. So all said and done, Quetta Gladiators definitely wins our jersey, so that's good to know.
All right, moving on, man. We don't have to go over every single match, but Karachi, you did a video, talked about their issues. Share that with our audience. What do you think? What is the problem? The low score. I know we're missing a couple good bowlers, but what is going on? What is not coming together for Karachi? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a captain of the year, but for Karachi Kings, a couple of things are not working out. One, it sounds like what Babar wants to happen isn't always happening on the field. And we saw a couple of examples of that where on the field while Babar was out there batting, he was trying to get the other players to bat the way he wanted them to bat and just get through some of the overs, but no one was listening. Everybody who came, they had a full-fledged batting collapse. It was against the multansultans where they just
First
were
one, yeah.
all out. Yeah. And so it tells you that, well, either they're nervous or they're not really paying attention, or they don't have a plan, or they don't know how to control themselves based on particular match situations. And they're inexperienced, and a lot of the team members are, so that's understandable. And they also haven't played together, and they haven't spent a lot of time together. So Babar's kind of, I think, stuck in a weird space where he is the captain in this short form cricket where he just came. It's his first time captaining this team, and many of the players are fairly new as well in the team. And I think he's gonna have and he is clearly having a hard time figuring out how to actually take this team, because one thing we know about Babar is that he's been really good and produced really good results individually and as a team when he has players that he knows, that he's played with, that he has relationships with. And the current national team, the Pakistani team, is evidence of that. He's got his closest players, closest allies, friends, all in the team, people he trusts, people he respects, and the team is doing well because he kind of aligns with their thinking and they align with his, and they're happy to listen to him, and they're happy to do play the kind of cricket that he wants them to play. But in Karachi Kings, it looks like people are coming with their own brands of cricket, and everyone's kind of trying to make their own mark, and maybe not taking as seriously what the whole team should do as a unit. So I thought the captaincy is a challenge right now for Babar. Not that he's doing something wrong, but just the nature of how the team has come together in a short period of time, and a lot of new players, that he doesn't have a lot of allies in the team either. So it's just becoming a difficult situation to deal with. But they've gone through 3 games. They've lost 3. Hopefully that led to some kind of communication and relationship building between everybody, that Babar would now be in a better position to sort of dictate how things should go and how players should play. The other part I was thinking about was just their bowling. They had a good batting kind of setup going on in the beginning. When you look at Babar and you're like looking at his name and you're like, oh wow, Babar's there, great. But then you look at the same thing with the bowling side, and once you take out Muhammad Amir, you don't have much left. And you have Imad, obviously. That's their main spin option. But really, when you take out Muhammad Amir, who couldn't play the first 3 games, you're not left with much. And my other point around Muhammad Amir is, even if Muhammad Amir was there, he hadn't been performing this past year very well. He didn't have a great stint in the Bangladeshi league that he played in. Muhammad Amir is going to be able to get you a wicket or two, but if he's not in his top form, and many people don't think he's the same Muhammad Amir that he was years ago, he's not going to make that big of a difference. So I'm concerned about their bowling. They don't have a lot of bowlers that can just create a breakthrough wicket that you need at crucial times. And that's what we're seeing also. And then the batting collapses, I already attribute that to just lack of communication between the players. But then I don't think the opening pair is working out right now. I think Babar Azam should come down. He should be 1 down, and he should be sending Sahibzada up. He was the new talent, the emerging cricketer. Also, I think that award went to him during the PCB 2021 awards. I think he should go up. He's used to playing as an opener. So a couple of these things, if they get fixed, I think they have a chance of kind of turning things around. But otherwise, teams are getting better and better very quickly from game to game in this PSL. So I'm concerned about Karachi actually, making it all the way.
I agree with that. I would like Babar to take his frustration off the field. I think that's bad for the environment, staring down people who are not listening to him right in front of everybody. And that's what's been working out for Babar in the national team. As you saw against India, he was very calm and collective. And I think these are the things you should not expose yourself to and show your weaknesses. So hopefully with these 3 losses, like you said, and they have some motivational talk in the dressing room. There's a lot of games to come, so you never know. And this is T20, so anything can happen. Karachi can end up in the final, and they have in the past. So, and
they have 7 more games.
7 more games, and again, I agree. Mohammad Amir is not gonna fix the batting issue. And everybody's going to attack him because he's inexperienced. In this case, he hasn't played any national cricket, and he's not used to the conditions and how T20 is played. And it has changed a lot since last 2 years. So he will be in for a surprise. And coming from an injury or sickness, it's going to be extra added pressure on his shoulders. So, but hopefully it all gels together because we do need competition, and we do want all these teams to perform at the end of the day. So, yeah, okay, moving on. I think it's going to take forever if we break down each match and talk about it. It's going to be too long of an episode. So let's discuss which players stood out to you more that are new and emerging, whether Pakistani or foreign.
Yeah, well, one player that came to mind right away was Tim David from Singapore. Today in the game that we watched earlier between multansultans and Islamabadunited. So in that game, Tim David really turned things around. I mean, they scored over 70 runs in 5 overs because of his knock. And there were a couple of other performances there too, like Shadab did really great too for United, but Tim David really stole the show there. So I was looking forward to him. When I reviewed the team for a video earlier and I saw his stats and what he was about, I was very excited to see him. He really has produced exactly what I was kind of imagining and hoping that I would get to see, because he had a great strike rate. He was very explosive based on his numbers, and he had a very nice average given the T20 that he played. So he's produced that. To me, that was a really good one, a good player to see. And also Sohaib Maksud. I just hadn't seen Sohaib Maksud play very much, and just to see him come out and play, and he plays really clean cricket. He plays good shots. It's not about slogging and whatnot. He plays proper shots, and that was really nice to see too.
The person that stood out to me the most is Ahsan from Quettagladiators. I've never seen this guy.
Opener, right?
The opener, right. I did not hear about him. He first 2 matches, 2 50s, and what was really impressive about him, it wasn't power hitting. It was all ground shots, mostly 4s, which tells you he knows his lines. He's a stable player. He has good balance, and he has good timing. So that was very impressive to see. And the second person that stood out was David Willey, the bowler for Multan Sultan. He was an amazing fielder, and he took some really good wickets. And if you saw the yesterday's match against Quetta, he saved they needed 7 runs off of six balls, and he saved the match,
God.
man. That was as nail biter.
I hated that.
Came to the yeah, man. They needed 7 runs in last 2 balls, and the batsman hit a 6, and it was like a magnificent catch at the boundary line where he went over the line, threw the ball in, and caught it.
How come everybody's doing that these days?
It's so
man?
common now.
What? Isn't that crazy?
Amazing what these coaches do, and these are the players that you'd expect to take catches like that. So everybody's getting better altogether, and this is the beauty of getting these leagues together, because you learn from each other, play among other countries, and their philosophy, how they train people, how they coach people, and ultimately our coaches get better working with them, and our players get better.
Yeah. So, speaking of the players, now let's turn the same question to the teams. Is there a team that surprised you with this performance, or you still obviously you picked the right team, man? Multansultans top in the charts, 4 matches, 4 wins, 8 points, right? It's sitting at the top. But besides Multansultans, obviously, did anyone else surprise you with their performance, good or bad?
The only team surprised me was Karachi, but not performing. I think their batting definitely keeps on collapsing. The bowling is not clicking. And we expected them to face challenges here and there, but the type of campaign they're having is definitely unexpected. All the other teams are basically, they all have 1 or 2 wins, right? So they're not too bad, but definitely Multan Sultans are having a wonderful time out there as predicted. And their batting order and bowling is pretty good. I mean, they start off with Shan Masood. That's another guy. I wanted to talk about people who we don't know, but also those who are common in Pakistani cricket circuit but didn't get a chance to play for the national team. Shan Masood has been around. He plays test cricket. And man, this guy's a power hitter suddenly. Opening left-handed, and we love left-handed batsmen, right? They're just, for whatever reason, too stylish. He performed 43, I think, today. Yesterday, 88 something. And then, of course, Mohammadrizwan with his 2 knocks, 250s. Today he got unlucky with the cruel way of getting run out where the bowler sort of touches the ball and redirects it to the wicket. So that was bad luck. And Sohaib Maqsood, he's always been impressive, and he always gets unlucky with injury right before a major tournament. So this is the guy who was selected for T20 World Cup and got injured.
That's right.
So it was enjoyable to see him back in action, and people were able to see what he has to offer. The last one in this team, Khushdal Shah. This guy has been hitting runs and taking wickets. It's insanity how much all these bowlers can hit now. So that's another name, familiar. I like emerging new players, but I also want the playing 11 or playing 15 to perform, because those are the people ultimately who are going to run our team with added spark here and there with new players.
What you said about Khushdal Shah is also interesting because he's gotten a lot of chances in the team, in the national team, and he doesn't seem to perform the same way at the national level, at the highest level. So, we have to remember that too. Like there's different levels of competition here versus the national team at the national level, international level. So maybe that gets in the way too. As far as the teams are concerned, I'm surprised by lahoreqalandars. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they are because I thought Shaheen's captaincy is not going to be, it's going to take a while for him to really, get a hold of it. And I think it is. I think I was right about that. And I think we've seen some hints of that he's not really, showing that he's very experienced, because he's not. And, but the rest of the team is a bit of a powerhouse. We'll see if they actually make it. So I'm a little bit surprised about how well they're scoring right now, especially their batting. Because when you look at lahoreqalandars, you think of bowling right away. Obviously, you have Shaheen Shah Afridi. But, when the way they perform with the bat, Fakhar Zaman kicking in and scoring a century. So far, I think he's the only one who scored 100 in this tournament. It's pretty cool. So very impressed by that. And I'm also surprised by peshawarzalmi's not so good performance so far. And to be fair, they had a weird kind of a game with Islamabadunited where United really just destroyed them. But United has a very deep batting lineup, so now I understand. But peshawarzalmi, I expect it to be a little bit better, but they've been kind of hurt by COVID the most. They've lost at least 2 key players in their captain, Wahab Riaz, and also in their wicketkeeper batter, and also the person with the most PSL centuries, Kamran Akmal. So, they're without a couple of really key players, not just no ordinary players, but really major players. And I think that might be hurting them. I'm wondering in tomorrow's game if they're going to have that, because I think Zalmi and Gladiators are going on tomorrow. But I'm really interested to see what their team makeup looks like if those players are back. Because if those players are back, then I see Zalmi catching up quickly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I forgot about Zaman's innings. That should have been mentioned in players that we do know and performed. And I think Wahab Riaz is a major loss so far because this is a guy who I think won every league he was part of last year. I saw a picture of him holding like
Yeah.
five trophies or something. He's a devastating bowler. And I think he's highest wicket taker for PSL as well, if I'm not wrong. So that's definitely impacting their performance. But well, again, it's too early. Hopefully, don't forget COVID is still going around. So some of these teams unfortunately might lose some players. So things are
Yeah.
gonna change, either in a good way or a bad way for each team. And we got a long way to go. We can only hope that we finish the tournament without any delays and disruptions like last year, and see the final
That'd be
when we're
nice.
supposed to. So I think that's all we have, Jay.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate you. We are really grateful to you taking the time to listen to our analysis. And please keep listening and also check out our YouTube channel for new videos that are being uploaded and published regularly. And let us know what you think. And with that said, thanks everybody. And this is Jay and Rufan signing off. Until next time. Peace.